Hi, it's me, Freddie. Or is it Freddie May? Yeah? Welcome to the official Drambuie Rusty Nail series. Hang around as we find out why it's called the Rusty Nail and where it came from.
They come from America.
Let's go. Well, that's better. Now we're in New York. So, what is a rusty nail? Where did it come from? And how did it get its name? That's what we're going to be finding out right now. If you really want to know about the history of cocktails, you've got to go to one guy, Dave Wondrich. And he found out that in 1937, there was a drink created for the British Industries Fair, which that year was held in New York City. And that drink is remarkably similar to the one that we find today called the Rusty Nail. It was creatively named the BIF after the British Industries Fair, and it was Drambuie and Scotch whiskey, but a much drier version. It used Angostura bitters, and instead of being on ice, it was served up in probably in a martini or a coupe glass. So what happened between then and now? Because the drink only got famous in the 1960s in New York. That's a gap of several decades. So Drambuie wasn't massively available until after the Second World War, even though it was maintaining some sort of supplies and exports to the US. But to give you an idea, between 1946 and 1959, Drambuie grew 14 times in size just in those 15 or so years. And so by the 1960s, Drambuie was in all of the bars, especially in the Upper East Side. That's where we're going to head right now. In fact, I think we should just go grab a Rusty Nail. According to the International Bartenders Association, which there is one, it's one of the 30 unforgettable classic cocktails, and it's credited with being invented in New York. We're heading right now to one of the places, actually the place which is kind of credited with the Rusty Nail. We don't know for sure if it was actually created there, but in the 1960s, the chairwoman of the Drambuie Liquor Company, who was Gina McKinnon, she traveled around the US with a couple of bagpipers in tow. And it was at the 21 Club that she, in an article, I believe it was in the New York Herald, attributed to the Rusty Nail to this place here. This is the site of the 21 Club on West 52nd Street. It's closed. Well, this is the place that was credited with the Rusty Nail, but as you can see, COVID's had a hit on so many bars. Even though the 21 Club is closed now, the legacy of this place remains in the Rusty Nail. And also, it makes sense that the Rusty Nail was served here. It's the same venue that came up with the B&B cocktail. And a B&B is the same formula, right? It's brandy and Benedictine, or cognac and Benedictine over ice. The same formula as the Rusty Nail, which was also known at one point as the D&S at another bar around the corner from here. So we're gonna head over now to PJ Clark's. While we're on our way to find my elusive Rusty Nail, it's a good time to explain some theories about the name. Some say that it's from rusty nails in the Drambuie crates when they were dropped off in the East River by smugglers during Prohibition. But that was in the 1920s, and the rusty nail wasn't popular until decades after. Another good story is this great shot is ruined by rush hour traffic, is that a bartender unable to find a spoon stirred the mixture with an actual rusty nail. That sounds disgusting and a terrible idea, so it's most likely, in my opinion, down to the rich golden colour of Drambuie. Since Drambuie uses saffron as an ingredient, and back in the 60s, most whiskey was very light-coloured blended Scotch, meaning that the golden hue of Drambuie would have stood out in a drink. I'm going to read you something now from Dale DeGroff, who is a legendary preeminent bartender from New York City. He says, "Law has it that the Rat Pack was enamored with the drink, that's the Rusty Nail, which may have been responsible for the wide appeal in those early years. And in the 1970s, I mixed many a Rusty Nail in the joints that I worked in New York. They were also a hit at PJ Clark's, which is a favorite late night haunt of Frank Sinatra." Stir him a Rusty Nail. Yeah, might as well. So this is PJ Clark's. This place is $3 bar in New York City, so I'm told. Super famous for the Rusty Nail. Even though it's like 95 degrees outside, it's a pretty healthy portion, still tastes good.
If you've ever dreamt of having a true rusty nail the way it's traditionally made, you should come to a traditional New York pub, PJ Clark's. That's where we're at. Enjoy rusty nails.
Yeah, like this one. So there you have it, folks. Everything you've ever wanted to know about the rusty nail. And some of it might even be true. So now, all that's left is for us to figure out what the official recipe is according to Drambuie, which is coming up on this video next.